song of praise in this heart of mine. God is good all the time. Through the darkest night, that His light will shine. God is good. God is good. Good morning. All the time. God is good. All the time. Put a song of praise in this heart and mind. God is good. All the time. Through the darkest night, His light will shine. God is good. God is good. All the time. If you're walking through the valley and there are shadows all around, do not fear. Love will guide you. Love will keep you safe and sound. Love has promised to never leave you or forsake you. And God's word is true. God is good all the time. Put a song of praise in this heart of mine. God is good all the time. Through the darkest night, His light will shine. God is good. God is good all the time. That's right. God is good all the time. Put a song of praise in this heart of mine. God is good all the time. Through the darkest night, His light will shine. God is good. God is good. God is good. He's so good. God is good. God is good. God is good all the time. Welcome. Yes, we do like to get the spirit moving. And good afternoon. And I'd like to welcome a visitor here, Jennifer.
Hi,
Thank you. Let's give Jennifer a hand. Thank you for being here. We're the small but mighty church.
Yes.
Over the years, we've had some amazing people here, and one by one they've left us, and we've had to bid farewell to them. But it's been a wonderful group, and they're still with us in spirit, so that's the good thing. So, okay, first off, Shirley's not here because she has a problem with her shoulders, and she didn't get to go to her driver's test, and so therefore she now can't drive till she goes on May 31st as her next appointment. So she may or may not be at Tuesdays with Spirit or church. We'll just have to see. So she'd like our prayers. Let's include her in our prayers today. And anybody else have anything they'd like to tell us? Yes, Babs.
I had my great-granddaughter. I just left her. And she sang a song to me. Can I read the song?
Yeah.
In the yard, we're growing carrots. Bunny, I am warning you. I don't care how cute you are. I'm watching every move. Keep your paws off my carrots. Keep your tail out of here. You can't hide in the garden because I can see your ears.
I love kids. Kids just tell it like it is. Tell it like it is. Yes, Joe. Oh, and yes, Craig is missing. He got in touch with me last night, and he said, please, may I miss today? And I said, I don't know about that. Being our assistant audio tech, and he said he had a really good friend of his in, in Temecula.
Yeah.
And then he said, I want to go to a gun show, and I've never been to one, and now I'm old enough to go, so could I go? And I said, oh, of course. Silly boy, no problem. Anybody else have anything that needs prayer, or do you want to tell us or share with us? No? We're good? We're all good? Okay. So let's just go to our hymnals, please, and go to page, it's the first of the month, so as you know, we take attendance. Page 4. This was my favorite hymn at Unity, and it continues to be my favorite hymn for years now. Okay. will make the darkness bright? Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, as you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I, the Lord of wind and flame, I will tend the poor and lame. I will set a feast for them. My hand will sing. Finest bread I will provide, till their hearts be satisfied. I will give my life to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, as you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart.
And for the last chorus, stand if you would like to, if you feel like it today.
Ready? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, as you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. Thank you. Jennifer, we call that the Taking Attendance song because at the first of the month we do the Here I Am, talk to me, here I am, talk to me, because we know that the God in here is always trying to tell us something. We would just always listen. Okay, so if you will sit back and breathe a deep breath as we move into our invocation music. Relax, let it go.
And today, as we gather together in the circle of light and love that is Heartlight, we affirm our wholeness, our completeness, and our connection with the One. Today, we affirm our ability to love, to have compassion, to live in a place of non-judgment and peace in our lives, to give and to receive, to love and be loved, to hug and be hugged, to understand who we are, where we are, and why we are here. And the reason for all of those is to be love in the world. And today I give thanks for all of the blessings that are showered upon us, for all the ways in which each one of us grows and becomes and evolves and becomes more. I declare today absolutely perfect, this gathering absolutely perfect. We are right where we are supposed to be. And let us say together, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Now our lay reader today is Melissa. Come on up.
Good afternoon. Yay, got it right. All right, I am reading today from Science of Minds back in November of 2017. And this is from Dr. James Roos, Revealing Health, Grow What You Know. Not long ago, we were in the midst of planning an addition to our home. The process was slow and at times led us to question our commitment to getting the job underway because of the need for the building permit. The building permit was necessary to satisfy our state requirements that all the proper precautions and plans were in place. When you are setting an intention to build your life and grow your mission and purpose, giving yourself a building permit can be both helpful and powerful in getting the job done. Having this critical document in place gives you the mental and physical clearance to enthusiastically and successfully go about building what you desire. Key components of your building permit are trust, confidence, gratitude, and action. You can use this purpose to build any area of process, to build any area of your mind, body, business, relationships, your world. Because you are made in the image and likeness of God, and the divine does indeed show itself in you, and as you, you are given all the ability and reason to fully trust your power to build and create. You will find that you build trust with others and trust in spirit by being trustworthy. This is accomplished in many ways, including by keeping your word to yourself and others, honor agreements, and be fully transparent with all you commit to. Trust will be built over time when you continually or consistently reliable and align with truth in your words and actions. You no doubt will notice that life will conspire in your favor when you trust in yourself and the universe. The right people, situations, and energies will always appear. When you are in a state of being certain or self-assured, you may also be in a state of confidence. Confidence can give you the courage to grow, to express your best, and to build that which you know to be true inside and all around you. When I am in need of a boost of confidence, I use a practice I call Grow What You Know. Create your day by simply doing the things that you enjoy with greater mindfulness. Allow them to be a focal point of your day. When you give yourself permission to experience the things you love, and you witness yourself doing them well, your confidence will soar. Notice the feeling of completing tasks with excellence and grace, with power and appreciation. No building project will be successful without the feeling and true knowing that you have enough to get the job done. Be grateful. Bring forth the feeling of abundance. When you are in a state of appreciation, you align with the law of attraction, and you get more of what you like. The feeling of gratitude circulates in you and as you. Commit to the idea and energy of gratitude. Planting this powerful seed of appreciation will grow your life from average to amazing. Science affirms that gratitude gives life. People dedicated to this practice live and thrive longer, are less likely to develop many types of diseases, and are the most likely to stay committed to daily forms of self-care that further support their well-being. The universe loves and rewards action. When you put your trust in God as yourself and develop the spiritual muscles of confidence, you generate the powerful fuel to put your passions into action. The universe is all about your greater good. It is time to take your personal building permit and construct the life of your wildest imaginings. And I wanted to share today, I wanted to let you know that just how God works in such mysterious ways. You know, we've been looking, we did sell, and we're in escrow, but you know, you always worry about if you're gonna fall out of escrow. Well, we just started receiving his mail yesterday, so I think we're doing okay, all right? And he's kind of pushing it along. So we've been looking for rentals for a while, and the affordable group of what would be proper for us, and it's been downright scary. Sometimes I walked into places and I'm just, I got the chills. I had to walk out. It was just anything from dirtiness to just bad energy, or just, it was just interesting. It's been quite a journey. And so we had found another house in Irvine that would suit our needs, right? Because we're getting very close, because the new owner would like to. And yesterday we had a big community garage sale. We cleaned out our attic, so we had a bunch of old inflatables and, you know, all our sea going for years and boating and just stuff. 30 years of just junk of stuff that's been up there for years. So this lady showed up, and I had a craft box, and she showed up and she's digging through it, and she took 3 things of ribbon, and she looked at me, and she was with her daughter, and she said, "And how much do you want for this?" I said, "Oh, just take the boxes, please. You know, I mean, there's." She's like, "No, what do I owe you for this?" And I just looked at her, and she said, "I'm making a lei for graduation." I said, "Just take it." I said, "It's my gift to you. Please, just take it. You know, just take it." And all of a sudden, she heard somebody talking, and come to find out she has a rental house that's coming up available on June 1st up in West Irvine, which is closer to the office. And it's a 4-bedroom, which we've been looking for, because when my mom and Glenn's dad, which is a downstairs. So hopefully we're gonna get to see it this afternoon.
Oh.
I brought her into the house, and it was just the way for her, for us. She met my family, she knows the dog now. It was just quite amazing. And she was teaching her daughter that when a kind act, what happens, and it was so beautiful to see that. So I'm just very thankful, because this sounds like, because I've seen pictures and it just looks lovely. So I'm very excited. And it's $200 less than what. Here you go. But he works in mysterious ways. I picked up a dog at a garage sale, but never a home. Okay,
So this is the this sort of leads into our talk today. The idea that everything works all the time. Everybody's where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. So we've been celebrating the divine, and we're celebrating ourselves, right? Because we are divine. This thing we call God is beautiful, therefore you are beautiful. Simple as that. A reminder from last week that all the qualities of the divine are our qualities. So we are beautiful and powerful and brilliant and aware and able to do miracles all the time. As I said also last week, we're drawing from the wisdom of Paramahansa Yogananda, and I just chose that because it's so hard to say, and I just wanted to be practicing saying it all the time. It rolls off my tongue. The book Autobiography of a Yogi was published in 1946. It's been around for a very long time, and it still is being used as a teaching tool. So last week I talked about Yogananda's childhood, talked about Jesus having a childhood. People act like he never had one, but of course we know he had to grow up at some point. And he had there's this huge gap. They have his birth, then all of a sudden he's 13, boom, and then he's 30. And people kind of miss all the stuff in between. At some point I'm going to do a talk about those missing years from 13 to 30. People tend to worship the great teachers, and the great teachers don't wish to be worshipped. They wish to teach. They wish you to get the information and work with it in your own life. As I said, even the most ardent traditional religionists have to admit that Jesus was born. He didn't just spring up from the ground, or descend from the sky, a full-grown man. But many theologians and many apologists have struggled with finding a way to explain that Jesus was human and divine. They just have a real hard time with both of those things. And The reason they have a hard time is they don't know what we know, is we're human and we're divine. Some of us are more in tune with our divinity than others. And also, if you think about the idea of Jesus, surely if he was the one and only Son of God, he would have made a way better run of being human. But he got angry, he got passionate, he got sad, all these things. He got frustrated with his disciples. So there isn't an exclusive club consisting of one person who is allowed to wear the "Hi, I'm a child of God" badge. Everybody here gets to wear one. Everybody on the planet gets to wear one, okay? We're fortunate to know that. Now, I get it that in certain belief systems, people want their spiritual heroes to be better. And I'm not saying Jesus wasn't a lot better at this stuff than we are, because apparently he was. And many great teachers are better at certain things than we have not quite learned yet. But the idea is, if we put these people on a pedestal, that makes us feel small. And we're not small. We're very powerful. Sometimes we just haven't learned how to use it yet. So people say, well, but you should be humble. Be humble. Well, being humble is essential. Jesus was humble. Buddha was humble. Yogananda was humble. Muhammad was humble. Okay? All of them. They learned to be that way, knowing that they were born to be equal with everyone. And, Jesus, as we recall, was pretty cocky about turning those clay birds into live birds, right? And purifying the river the way he wanted to. And we know that Yogananda bragged about his power and ended up with a scar on his arm that would remind him for the rest of his life. Still, we learn we must never abandon the holy child within us. When you were a child, were you able to detect love easily? Were you able to give love easily? You could run up and give a hug to a stranger, right? And not think, oh, I don't know if I should give a hug to that stranger because I'm not sure if they'll understand what I mean by it. They might read something into it that isn't actually there. By the time we've thought all that, they're gone. The chance for the hug is gone. So children just do it. They just hug. They smile. They laugh. So today we're going to move on with our topic, training your guru. Guess which guru I mean? Inner guru. First of all, we know that at times our most cherished thoughts held in mind about the conditions that we want to create, whether it's health or cash flow or peace, whatever it is, sometimes these conditions have not appeared. Have you experienced that? You go, I've been affirming, I've been treating, I'm not seeing it. It's like with the Schwenn's house. They've been looking and affirming for the right home and wondering, well, when is it going to show up? So we get a little impatient with the process. We would like it to speed up. Okay? And in other words, in the back of our minds is, could we just skip to the good part? Perfectly human. When we were kids, were you in a hurry to grow up? Yes, you wanted to drive, right? You wanted to be able to go out on your own. You wanted possibly to drink. You wanted to smoke. You wanted to do whatever all the big kids did. You were just in a hurry. We assumed that being an adult would bring us great satisfaction because we would cease having to do what other people wanted. Has that come true for you? Have you ceased to do what other people want? No. Apparently growing up did not bring that about. It didn't quite work out that way. Of course, we recognize yet another of Joseph Campbell's myths, and that's the idea of the path of mastery. Those of you who've seen Star Wars long, long ago, years, decades now, although they keep making prequels and sequels and all these
Are we talking about the first one?
Yeah, the first one, Luke.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker. Huh?
1978.
1978, thank you.
Saw it 30 times.
30 times. It was a very good year. You'll remember Luke Skywalker, right? Mark Hamill, who's now in NCIS and looks quite a lot different. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to fight the bad guys. He wanted to basically kick butt. That was his idea. He wanted to get to the good part. But what happened when Obi-Wan Kenobi started training him? Did he let him start, whipping out the lightsaber and doing stuff? No. Did he teach him for a few days and say, okay, you're done. You're good. You got it. Did he say, so get out there and use the Force? No, he did not. Next on Luke's training agenda was Yoda, one of my favorites. What did Yoda say? There is no try. There is do or not do, which is one of our favorite principles here. He had a lot of knowledge and wisdom, so it was a process for Luke, and by the way, that occasionally annoyed him. Another great example, the Karate Kid, the original. All right? Was it, what's his name? Ralph Macchio was the kid. Daniel is tired of being picked on by bullies, which we all would be tired of. So he goes to Mr. Miyagi to teach him karate. Does Mr. Miyagi start right in with the lessons? No, not really, at least not in a very obvious way. The first thing he says is, paint fence. I'm like, that's not why I came, to paint the fence. I came to, paint fence. Okay, he figures maybe that's the way Mr. Miyagi wants to be paid for lessons. Oh, okay, I'll paint the fence. So he gets that all done, he's exhausted, and he finds himself then on the next stage obeying the famous directive, wax on, wax off. He's like, what? Now I'm waxing? Wax on, wax off. Daniel eventually discovers that all these chores had a point. It wasn't about sprucing up Mr. Miyagi's car or Mr. Miyagi's fence. Each skill he learned would relate to karate. Okay? And in the end, injured and bleeding, as you'll recall, in the wonderful payoff at the end, he defeats the bullies. He defeats the bullies because he found out that this wax on, wax off move was an actual move, a defensive move, and so was this one, and he learned to instinctively use them. So, think about youthful impatience. You've all had that. It showed up for Yogananda. He developed a powerful faith even as a very young boy. He loved all things spiritual, and he didn't want to pay attention to anything else, which is kind of annoying if you happen to be Yogananda's mother. It's like, enough with the spirituality, could you just take the trash out, He wanted to go and find teachers and gurus and books about the sacred, and finally his parents sat him down. They said, look, we know you're excited about all this. We know that you're really wrapped up in all this. Would you please just finish high school? That's all we're asking. Then you can go find a teacher, go to an ashram, whatever. And he agreed. So he finished in 1910 when he was 17. And through a wonderful series of events, he found his teacher, Sri Yukteswar. Try saying that 3 times fast. And he was thrilled because, he'd made it. He's going to have his lessons now. He's going to have the real deal. And Sri Yukteswar welcomed him and said he would one day go to the Western world and anchor the teachings there. And through him, yoga would become a vital spiritual discipline. And he's like, yeah, that's why I came. And Yogananda was totally thrilled. He'd always believed in his high purpose. His parents had just been holding him back, frankly. And this was it. But guess what? Sri Yukteswar said, not so fast, kid. It's wonderful that we will work together. Yes, you have this really cool destiny, but for now, I need you to go back and finish college. Really? Really? He's so ready. This is not what he wanted to hear. And doesn't that happen to us from time to time? We want something and somebody says this has to come first and it is not what we want to hear. It's not fair. Because we've affirmed it, we should have it right this minute. We want our lives to look and function a certain way. We do all our spiritual work. We're enthusiastic, we're faithful, we pray, and perhaps the voice of another wise person or the voice within us tells us something we don't want to hear, which is not yet. Not yet. There's more that you need to know. One of the reasons that Yukteswar told him to go back to college was he said, you're going to go to the West. They put a lot of stock in education. So some kid, fresh out of high school, is not going to command a great deal of respect. You have to have your education. So we are training our inner guru all the time. It's inner because no matter how many skilled teachers we encounter, who is the most valuable teacher? The voice of God within us. Okay? And it needs a little more training and wisdom for us to become the highest and best version of who we are. Now there are stages to this learning. First we have the big vision, and it's important to have one. But does your vision need to be flexible? Yes, it does. Because is it going to look exactly like you think it's going to? Probably not. Okay? We can't get attached. So Yogananda was so obsessed with being closer to God, realizing God, being a perfect expression of God, he got totally carried away. And his teacher said, "Stop chasing God. Stop trying to catch God. God is within you. So let go of your plan and consider following God's plan." Which is why the second step in our process is letting go, which was our invocation song this